Alright, so in this video, this is what I'm trying to print in 4 color. It's just sort of a plaque of this, and let's see how it goes. Alright, so I am doing a 4 color print of the Cybertruck, and it also shows the Cyberquad and the, what do you call it, the Roadster. I just noticed the pink booger over there. I think I want to pull it off of there. Hopefully I don't wreck the whole print. You know, whoa. It's not happy about that. I'm pissing it off. I'm reminded of the South Park episode with the crocodile hunter in it. That'll really piss him off. If you haven't seen that, you got to see that. It's really one of the funniest things ever. But anyway, so I did the first 3 layers in black as prescribed by my interrogating the model. And so layer 4 I changed to red. This is like a silk red PLA. Not like, it's a little bit sort of pinkish, but I figured so the effect of the Roadster seems to be very sort of pearl kind of red, and so I thought maybe that would be a better effect than just plain red. Ooh, actually, I have some of that. What is that? Iron red? What is? Oh, don't tell me I bought the same stuff again. Is that red PLA? Oh no, it's PLA. Sparkle red. Okay, no, I bought some iron red too. I ordered the other day, so I was just thinking, oh, is that the same color? Because it's sort of similar. I don't know, maybe it's not, but I'm thinking it might be. So it'll be interesting to see how well this comes out. It actually says like 2 hours. 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's going to be less than that though, because my layer height gauge, I chopped a lot of it off, just because it's unnecessary to print past whatever 45 layers or whatever. I want to say this is like 25 layers maybe. The last change is to white at 18. And I think it actually goes up to like 24. Not exactly sure, but I think 24 is about it. So it's probably going to be close to 2 hours, just because I chopped away most of the extra height gauges. So it's probably going to be most of the print. I don't know, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, hour and 50 minutes, guessing. Might even be closer to 2 hours, because those last few layers of the height gauge really shouldn't take much time at all anyway. So I'm kind of surprised that it's that long, 2 hours, but it is. I didn't do the second method that I created, which is the first method is to just use this color image to generate the layers, and then the second method is to convert it all to grayscale, and then that much allows me to much more precisely tune how many layers for each color. Whereas this, it's going 3 layers of black, then 3 layers of red, 3 layers of black, 4 layers of red, and then actually 10 layers of gray, and I don't know, 6 layers of white. So I could, if I wanted to process it to grayscale, process the image to get the grayscales equally spaced apart, then I could definitely get it to less than 2 hours. But it'd probably take me 5 hours to figure out how to get the grayscale tuned just right. The other one I did with my logo, it was easy because I created the image from 3D CAD rendering, and so it's very easy for me to go in and adjust the settings to get adjust the grays to be equally spaced apart to be mostly linear as far as how many layers for each color. And so I'd get it down to like 3 layers for each color or whatever. And so theoretically, if I did that, I could make the print probably take an hour instead of 2 hours. But I think not worth the effort. I'm not enough of a. It's probably not all that difficult actually to just adjust to like filter. How would you do it? I could do it probably in Grasshopper within Rhino. Any sane person probably do it in like Photoshop or something. I'm actually thinking about buying Illustrator. I always think about buying it, but I kind of never seem to need it exactly. Like I can do well enough with what whatever software I already have, like even just PowerPoint for manipulating, joining images, combining images, annotating images, cropping, things like that, make transparent backgrounds. You can even do, although it's pretty ugly, and I can do a lot of it in CAD. And also Rhino Grasshopper has a lot of capabilities. There's like an image sampler, and you can manipulate the image that way. Again, not expert at that. As far back to Illustrator, I actually did back in it must have been 2017, just because of that was the year I quit my job, and I remember the first year I was working on this product, and I used Illustrator to do a whole bunch of graphics for it. It was very graphics intensive. I'm not generally a graphic artist, other than I'm more of a technical graphic artist, being that I'm a design engineer and do all my own drafting for the most part. So that's sort of, that's basically, it's sort of like graphic design, except it's much more precision based and engineering involved. As far as, you're not just making cartoons, you're making, or probably 10% of the time I was making cartoons, and 90% of the time was making manufacturing drawings, blueprints type stuff. But anyway, little tangent there, squirrel. What else? So I have, so it's layer 8. I have to change to gray. Is that right? Yeah. And so right now, I'm evidently on layer 4 still, which is the first layer for red. So looks like this red's going to take a little while. And it's interesting. So you see, like, it's all red. Yeah, but most of it's going to get covered up by gray. And then most of that's going to get covered. Well, then a lot of that's going to get covered up by white. It's just kind of the way, just like you can see the black coming through. That all those blacks that you can see right there, right now, that's all going to remain black for the entire print. And then basically only the Roadster over there, if you can see where that is, that's the only thing that'll be red, not covered up by one of the other colors. It's a pretty neat process, really. I'm not sure how good this is going to come out. It's obviously not going to be like photo quality, but I think it could be an interesting sort of abstract art effect. All right, so that's the end of layer 4, and this is the beginning of layer 5. Should be a loop right on the 5. Yeah. Yeah, the gauge is so much easier to read once it gets past black. I don't know why I always have black on the first layers. Hopefully you can hear me. I didn't do any sound check. I just kind of threw the headphones on, plugged it in, and hit record. A lot of times I do a sound check first. I forgot. Which side is... Yeah, okay, so the giant wiper is going to be on the far side. I don't know if that shows up in the image. So I don't know if you saw, if you follow Tesla at all. Maybe you do if you're watching this, but so today I guess they released the new version of the Model 3. Is that the Highland, I guess? I'm not sure, but I did see. I watched one video that it finally came out. Like new tail light design, new headlight design, things like that. Just kind of a refresh of the Model 3. Seems like a good little car. I would probably buy a Tesla. Well, I have a deposit on a Cybertruck, so that'll probably be my next vehicle. Although I don't know, by the time it gets to, it might take 3, 4, 5 years before production they make enough of them, because I'm pretty far back in line probably. I ordered mine like probably a year ago, whereas I know a lot of people ordered way before that. And so, the cool thing is it's only $100 deposit and it's refundable. So if I change my mind, I can just get my $100 back. And if not, I can, if I decide to keep it, then great. But I would definitely buy, like I do some towing, right? Not so much this year, funny thing about it, but so like I have a 24-foot enclosed trailer for my side-by-sides and quad and dirt bikes and stuff. And so I do like to be able to tow And well, I am also an advocate though, is you can tow with a car. Like, all right, if you already probably thought I might have been a little bit of a weirdo, but I used to tow behind my Camaro. I used to tow my dirt bikes behind. I was just talking about this with my friends last night. I used to tow my. I went to a big dirt bike ride one time, and me and my friend and had our two dirt bikes on the flatbed trailer pulling behind my. It's a 2002 Z28 convertible triple black with a 6-speed manual LS1 car. Awesome car, man. I still have seller's remorse big time. I don't even like to sell things anymore because I hate having seller's remorse. So I pretty much just try to keep everything. But anyway, I also towed. What else did I tow with that? I bought a giant toolbox at Harbor Freight Tool. This was back some years ago, and so I rolled up with my Camaro with the flatbed trailer. It was actually a Harbor Freight trailer, and put the strapped the big giant toolbox to my Harbor Freight trailer and towed that home with my Camaro. Lots of interesting looks with that. Funny thing was with it being a convertible, I did another weird haul one time, which was I was buying a 51-inch plasma TV back when plasma TVs were a thing, and I didn't want it dropped off at my house because I wasn't going to be there, and I didn't want it on the porch. Now, I'm less concerned about that nowadays, but for whatever reason, I was thinking that. And then so I got it sent to work, and I was going to tow it home on my trailer again. But then I realized this trailer suspension really is not good, and it'll probably end up breaking the TV by rattling it to death with all the bumps and stuff. So what I decided to do is just put it in the back, put the convertible top down, and put it in the back seat. And so I had to put it like the long way up because it was too wide to be horizontal in the back seat. So sticking way up. But the funny part was it was super cold out. It was like, I don't know, it was like late November or whatever it was, and it was like 40 degrees or whatever, and I was like 55-mile ride home. And so I got my hoodies on. I got at least one or two hoodies. I don't remember. I was all bundled up for the ride home. So that was a pretty funny Camaro hauling story. What else did I haul behind that thing? I don't know. There was definitely a multiple occasions when I towed with my Camaro. Oh, and even better. So then I bought. Some years later, I bought a used Mercedes S500 S-Class. It's kind of the flagship full-size luxury sedan, and I bought it used. So if you buy a car like that, like 10 years old with 100,000 miles on it, you can actually get a really good price. So I paid like $11,000 for it. An invoice for it was in the glove box. It was $89,000 car, and I paid $11,000 for it. And it was in great condition when I bought it. But anyway, that's the point of the story is soon after I bought that, that's when I realized I wanted to get a side-by-side. And I was like, oh, man, now I just bought a car, but now I want a side-by-side. I need to be able to tow it behind something. And so I ended up I bought a nice aluminum flatbed trailer, nice lightweight 14-footer, and put a tow hitch on my S500. Maybe I'll remember to put a picture of that in the video somehow. But yeah, so I used to tow my side-by-side behind this S500. Oh, and another funny story about that. One time we went for a winter ride out by my friend's house, and so there's like a dirt road that goes out to this parking spot where people like trailer out their dirt bikes and quads or whatever, and then leave their trucks there. And so I'm off-roading in the winter in my Mercedes, towing a side-by-side behind it, and these guys go by in this truck. They were like dumbfounded. They were like, "Holy shit!" It was really pretty funny. Anyway, finished another layer there. I don't want to lose track of flapping my gums instead of changing layers on time. All right, so that is 7. Very obvious to see. Now that I'm getting used to these height gauge, it's so easy to read it. So that is obvious to me. We are on layer 7. Oh, so this is the oh no, I say that. No, I think we're on 6. All right, slow down there. Wait a minute. Is it though? It's funny. I think I can actually see better if I just look without zooming. Actually, I think it's actually on 6 now that I was so certain of that. That's got to be 6. There's too much space before the 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is going to be layer 6. So, not after this layer, after the next layer. And when in doubt, change it to layer late, because that is less likely to bite you. Because if you go a layer early on accident, you totally mess the whole thing up because you block out the color where you didn't mean to, the previous color. And usually it's like just about all of it. So that's not good. But if you do it a layer late, then it doesn't generally, as long as it's more than 2 layers of that color, it's generally okay. But although, let's say you're doing white over black, you don't want just 1 layer of white over black, because it's going to be gray, because the black's going to bleed through. Not like the colors are really going to mix, but just that you're going to see the white is going to be not even paper thin, like way thinner than a piece of paper. And is that true? Let me do the math for that in a second. But it's going to be very, very easy to see right through the white to the black. So you do have to be careful about that. So let's see, what's a piece of paper is, what, like 6/1000 of an inch or something like that. So that was like a millimeter is 40 thousandths. So 0.1 millimeters is 4 thousandths. And these layers are 0.1. So yeah, a little thinner than a sheet of paper if I'm printing in fine mode, 0.1 millimeter layers. Just zipping around now, boy. It's kind of fun watching the K1 print. Back when I got my first printer, that was 2018, I think, and that was the Wellsbot TAS 6, the most unreliable printer I ever owned. But anyway, and it was way overpriced too. But other than that, it was great, sort of. But anyway, the point is, what was the point? Oh, it was kind of neat to watch it move around because it was new to me. But that it only was cool for so long, and then you couldn't watch it. Whereas the K1, it just moves so quickly, it's kind of entertaining to watch. So hopefully I'm not making anybody too seasick here. I did get a comment once a while back, the guy demanding I use a tripod. There is a live video on also broadcasting right now, which is too late if you're watching this, because this is not broadcast live. But you could always watch it with fixed. Yeah, you could watch them both and turn and mute the other one and listen to this one and watch the other one, right? Life hack for you, bam. It's practically rocket surgery. That is, seems strange, that black up there. Oh, you know what that is? That's the, that looks like the rear tires of the Tesla Semi. Tesla Semi is in the background there behind the, so it goes Cybertruck, Cyberquad, Roadster, and then Semi. And I just cut it off at the, I was going to put them all in it, but I was really just trying to do the Cybertruck. I was like, oh, I'm going to find a good image with the Cybertruck and then use that. And then I really liked this image of the Cybertruck. And it also had the Roadster. That was really, if it was just a Cybertruck and the Roadster, even better, because the Cyberquad a little bit blocks the Roadster, but that's okay. And I'm not sure how good the Cyberquad is going to be obvious that that's what it is, because this is very sort of, it's only a 4 color with no blending of colors, no shading. So it's going to be very sort of cartoony, just sort of solid colors. Although we'll have like highlights, so there'll be white highlights on things, which will help it to gray highlights on things too, gray highlights and white highlights. So it should help a little bit. Yeah, so gray is next. I should get my gray ready because it is coming up. Pay attention here. Pay attention. All right, so I need to cut this guy at an angle. I have to check what layer I'm on. I lost track of what layer I'm on. It's either after this layer or after the next layer. I think it's after the next layer. Where are we? We are at, that looks like 6 to me. So, actually one more layer after this even. Okay, so this is ending 6. And starting 7. Does that look like 7? I think that looks like 7. So two more layers, and then we're at the 10. So it looks like we're on 7 now. So after this layer, I'm going to swap to my gray. I have my gray ready to go. As you can see, I'm not even using the overhead spool that I have set up. I'm fine that I just put the spool here and just let it pay off this way, and it works fine. And it's just easier. Right? It just kind of drags up the side of the printer and works well. So after this is the gray. What else we got going on? Anybody else watching this have a deposit on a Cybertruck? Let me know in the comments. Or anybody else have a Tesla? Anybody else into EVs? You know, what kind of cars are you into? Are you into cars? I used to be a big car guy. I'm not really a big car guy anymore. Used to be a big motorcycle guy. I'm not really big into motorcycles anymore, other than I'm really into electric bikes now. I work from home. I live very rural, and I work from home. And, small town. It's actually pretty close to civilization. Like, I'm only like an hour from Boston. 4 hours from New York City driving. But super nice out here. A lot of open space, a lot of woods, a lot of trails to ride on. And so really I just use my electric bikes. I got a couple of nice electric mountain bikes. And I got one is a fat bike and one is not a fat bike. So if I'm going out in one spot that's very sandy, I take the fat bike, which I'm actually going to go out probably in actually right after this print's done, really. I'm going out riding. So I been into dirt bikes, side-by-sides, ATVs, all that stuff. And I still have side-by-side, quad, dirt bikes, but I really only this year I've only really ridden the electric bikes. And the funny thing is, one funny thing is I'm going out to ride with a bunch of side-by-sides with my electric fat bike, which is kind of funny. And but it's more about the kind of the party, the social thing, than it is about the riding. Everybody climbs a few hills, and then everybody hangs out. But and then we'll hit another spot, and we'll hang out some more, and then we'll hit another spot, and we'll hang out some more. And actually have more fun bombing around the trails with my electric fat bike or my other electric mountain bike than I do with my side-by-side. So, I mean, if I really want, like if I'm trying to compete in a hill climb or something, then obviously I need to be in the side-by-side. I have a highly tuned Can-Am X3 Turbo R, and it's got the crazy tune. So if I run on race gas, I can get like 235 horse, I think. But I have it tuned for like 205, which is so I can just do pump gas, and 200 horsepower on something that light is plenty quick. Trust me. And super hill climbing to the point where there's really no challenging hill climbs because it just scoots right up anything. You start right at the bottom of the hill and hammer down, and it just rockets up the hill. So, and some of these hills are pretty big too. But anyway, yeah. So I just ride my electric fat bike all the time, really. And although when I first got into the electric bikes, I would actually like ride it to the grocery store, and even I'd like ride to the gym in the next town over, and 2 towns over, and I would go to the gym, and then after that I would go buy some few groceries, and then ride home, and I would do that a few times a week. But have not been going to the gym lately. But I actually just bought some nice home power rack because hockey season's coming up. I play in a few hockey leagues. Play a lot of hockey over the winter, and so I gotta get less fat. Not so much less fat, just better cardio, and just not be frail. You gotta go into the season not being frail because it's kind of my goal, I guess. So Alright, so we are on 6, 7. Okay, so after this layer, I'm going to change it to gray. And then I think I'm going to go inside, because I got 10 layers of gray. So that's going to take a little while. Although, in theory, the higher the layers, the less time they take, because all of the layers, you know, the top layer only needs a little bit of material under it. But the first layers are solid. They're all solid black, and the next color, it's less than the whole thing, and then the next color is even less than the whole thing, and then the next color, it's even less than the whole thing. So theoretically, this 10 layers of gray might take the same as 4 layers of red may take. But anyway, who knows? I'm not going to measure that, but I'm sure that's how it works out. The question is, I'm sure the degree to which they vary also varies greatly depending on the color density, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. All right, so once we get to this next color, I will probably, good chance that I'll actually shut up at that point and go away, and then come back and continue recording when I swap to white. Oh, we're there. Pause. All right, so I just paused it. I'm going to release the clutch. Don't forget to engage the clutch. I do that sometimes, and I annoy myself. I did one on one of the other ones I did, and luckily I caught it. I did it twice, and luckily I caught it both times. Get in there. I'm going to change. I want to set the temperature, because the temperature goes down to 140 between. I assume that's just for PLA. It probably varies with other materials, but I'm going to set that to 222. This will be nice and soft, so I can purge. So I just do my own little purge here. Once that gets hot enough, it's at 190 now. 192, 45. This thing does heat up pretty quickly. Alright, I'm purging. You can take my word for it, I'm purging. Purge. Let's get the gray. It's interesting. It's very red tinted gray so far. All right, now that looks like solid gray. Okay, re-engage the clutch. Never forget to re-engage the clutch. Well, sometimes you get away with it, but not recommended. All right, and so hit resume. And you hear that? Some bikers going by. And so we're up to 230 degrees, so I should resume here. And I gotta pull this booger out. And my dog wants out. What is this? I missed it. Alright, time for the tweezers. Get rid of this booger. And there was a red one too, but I missed it. Oh. Got it. Bam. Let's make sure the gray is printing. Yeah, okay. Now, interestingly, the windshield. That must be the dashboard, I guess. Because I'm a little surprised that the windshield would not be black. For whatever reason, I was just assuming it might be. Even though I saw what's going to happen here. But it's tricky to visualize. You can see I get a little bit of highlights on the wheel, so that's kind of cool. Again, surprised there's very little black on the wheels. So I guess it's going to be mostly white, mostly highlights on the wheels, evidently. And so what I have, I said I have 10 layers. I mean, knowing me, I'm going to stand here and watch the whole thing and talk about it. But that's going to take a while. I mean, oh wow, I'm 56, what? 56 minutes in, an hour left, and it says I'm at 30%. That doesn't add up to me. 56 and 106, and somehow that means I'm 30%. That's weird. I don't know if like the percentage is just like how many layers, or am I just estimating the math? I mean, seems like I should be, if I'm 57 minutes in and 65 minutes to go, that seems like, 45% to me, not 30%. So that's a little bit confusing. So maybe it's just going by layer number. Maybe it's going by layers. And I really wish the display told you what layer it's on. I never understood why they never, like every printer I've ever had, they have displays to give you information, and they never tell you what layer you're on. At least the Taz 6 that I had, the Lulzbot Taz 6 I had, at least it would tell you the X height, which you could do a little bit of math and figure out. I guess probably if I had the computer connected to it, that would tell me. But, well, actually, maybe not, because even that, like, I've used the monitor, the network monitor from the connected. You type in the printer's IP address, and a window comes up that shows you the temperature and things. But I think that doesn't even show you the layer, what layer you're on. It might show you the Z height, but not. I don't think the layer. Now that's interesting. Oh no, what? I'm a little confused. Some of this gray that I'm seeing, like these little. I don't understand what that is. It must have just been like a gray booger on there or something, because it's like it drew on itself. It's like it drew those spots and then it put a layer over it. So I'm a little confused what that is. So it must have been like that. This, yeah. I mean, right now it looks like a Cybertruck. So yeah, just stop it right now. Call it good enough. But we'll see how it all comes out. I think it should look pretty cool. Oh, if you find this interesting, I get a lot of likes. I mean, I get a lot of views, and it seems like there'd be more likes because if they're watching it, maybe they like it, and so please consider clicking thumbs up and subscribing and commenting, sharing. Share it on. If you share it on 3D printing forums and things like that, that'd be great. This actually looks really cool already. I mean, of course, I'm biased. Nobody thinks their baby's ugly. Yeah. It's interesting that there's so much red on the wheels. I mean, it seems obvious to me that's all going to get covered up. But that seems weird, because I think the wheels are black in that image. But, I mean, they're black wheels, but obviously they're not shaded black, just because of reflections and things. The tires do look very black. There should be a little bit of highlighting on the tires, though. Should be able to see the knobbies a little bit. Yeah, okay, I can see a little bit of tire tread there. So at layer 18, I have to switch to white. Actually, yeah, so I should grab my white here while I'm thinking of it. And sharpen that filament point. Where's my white? Can't be far. I just have so many spools of filament around. Oh, there it is, hiding. It's a mini spool. I forgot about that. I forgot it's a mini. It's a mini one. It was hiding behind a big one. So let's cut the tip of this guy. At an angle. Bam. All right, white cut and ready to go. All right, what are we doing? What layer are we on here? Looks like we are on 9 or 10. It's hard to... Almost looks like 10, but not really. Tough to say. Probably still 9. Yeah, it's got to be still 9. It's like I'm still on the first silver layer, I think. I'm not sure about that. I think every time I move it, the thing follows me. It's looking pretty cool. That's a little ugly looking there. I'm not sure what's going on with all that ugliness. Hopefully that's just infill. Unless it's highlighting. I don't know, they look like infill. I guess maybe it's just the way it highlights. It's interesting that that's asphalt and it's not very black looking. But really, if you look at it in the light, like I'm looking at my driveway right now, and it is kind of it's just a gray. It's not black. It's nothing like black. It's like gray with lighter gray spots. So I guess that makes sense. You can see the white stripe there. That'll be white. That line that's almost vertical there. That'll be a white stripe. Part like in the it's a parking lot, so there's white lines, and so there'll be multiple white lines. I wonder if on the door I see that one stripe on the door. I wonder if that's just a reflection. Reflection of the white line of the parking spot line in the door. See that vertical line? I think that might be the reflection of the parking lot line. I don't have the reference image in front of me. Excuse me. Now I'm a little bit confused. So that's, this. Oh, okay. Yeah, so 8, 9. All right, so I'm on like the second or third layer of gray, turns out. So 8 was the first gray layer. And now it looks like I'm on 9 or 10. Looks like I'm on 9. So this would be the second gray layer. Any requests? I was debating like what to print in multicolor, and I had an interesting idea for one, but I'm not sure if it goes with the theme of the channel, so I'll probably skip that one. But I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, you know what I wanted to do is the plaid. I was thinking I wanted to do the plaid logo, but what I was actually picturing in my head was the animation on the dashboard of the plaid cars. And that actually looks quite different than the plaid logo. The plaid logo is kind of boring looking. And I did see one, I saw one that was... Okay, so hopefully I don't run out of space on my phone here. I forget about that sometimes. This phone doesn't have a whole lot of space on it. I could probably grab my new phone. And just record that in the same. That's what I did recently when this one ran out of space. Go to the new phone, which I probably should go to the new phone. Oh, the reason I don't go to the new phone is because I wasn't even thinking it doesn't have a headphone jack. And I tried a USB dongle to connect these to it, but I couldn't get it to record audio via the headset mic, which defeats the whole purpose of using a headset. Because I'm not wearing a headset just because I like how it hurts my ears. I'm doing it for the nice clean audio because it actually, I find like of all the microphones that I have, that this headset microphone is actually gives a nice recording sound. Really gets rid of all the background noise. This printer is actually being very loud right now. There it goes, shit off. Oop, nope. And then the other fan turned. That was weird. One fan turned off. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, yeah, it's starting to look like that's just the reflection. Yeah, a reflection of the lane line type of deal. Where are we at? We are on. See, it's tricky because the little loop things. Sometimes I have to kind of sweep it out of the way to see where I'm really at. So I think this looks like it was 10 and then curled around. Yeah, I think this is layer 10. So I could probably go do something else and come back. But it's pretty interesting to see it, and I don't want to miss anything. I mean, I definitely don't want to miss my layer change. But it's definitely going to be a minute. Oh, I see now. Okay, so a lot of that is infill, and then a lot of it is just highlight. So that's what I was confused by. So So the gray is. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, I've just figured it out. So basically, wherever you see infill right now is going to be white. Is what it's going to boil down to, because that's the only reason there's infill is because it's thick enough to need infill. So everywhere it's still printing gray, not infill, that's going to be done at layer 17. And everything that's infill right now will be printed over in white. So that's interesting to just figure that out, because it's kind of tricky to wrap your head around. Like when you're trying to calculate what layers to change it and stuff, it seems like it'd be a no-brainer. But actually, it's something. It takes me. It's in the early on. It's taken me quite some time to properly figure out what layer I'm on. But now I have it down to pretty good science, to the point where I actually, for some stupid reason, I didn't save the G code. I moved on to something else. So I went through this, and so there's you probably, if you're watching this, you probably already watched it. The intent is at the beginning of the video is going to be demonstrating, the slicing process, right? And so where was I going with that? Anyway, it goes a lot quicker now. Oh yeah, that's where I was going with that. So I did the whole thing. I created the video, the demonstration video, and edited that, and blah blah blah. I thought I was all done. And then I moved on to something else, and I never saved the G code, right? And so I recorded like the layer lines and stuff, what layers to change materials and stuff. But I never saved the G code. So when I went, I'm like, today I was like, oh, I need to go. I'm like, what can I print? I'm like, oh yeah, I still didn't print that Cybertruck thing. So I went to grab it, and I'm like, I got no G code of that, and I also didn't save it as a project file. And so I basically had to redo the color thing. But it went really quickly because I just resliced. I brought the file in. I tried to put it at the same settings if I remembered them right. And I'm going to sneeze any second maybe. I probably won't now that I jinxed it. And then I just I went through the slice and I looked where I had recorded the layer changes, the layer heights for the changes. And so I just confirmed that. I put it at each layer and they all look right. And so it probably took me 5-10 minutes, if that, to recreate, and then actually save the G code this time. I am thirsty. Oh, I just happen to have a jug of water here for just such an occasion. Oh, I just drank a whole lot of water. Whoa, power, 5%. Jeez. Don't forget to plug in there's always something. Forget to charge my phone. All right, 5% is going to dwindle super fast. I am going to probably stop this and go grab my other phone, I think, because I may run out of space anyway. What layer am I on, though? 10, 11? Looks like 10 still. All right, still the same layer. So this is the third? Yeah, 8, 9, 10. Third gray layer. All right, on to layer 11, I believe. Pretty ugly. But like I say, I can usually, if I sort of brush this whisker over, I can better see what layer it's on. Yeah, so that looks like 11 to me. Yeah, the thing about, like I say, I could just change the other camera, but the audio sucks. And what I can do is use my DJI mic, but I find I'm so annoyed because that thing was it was a pair of them. They were so expensive. It was $300 for the pair. I don't even like the sound quality, and I had to turn the gain way up just to be able to hear it. And the sound quality, this mic sounds way better. Of course, this is a boom mic right up next to my mouth, so maybe that's I'm sure that plays into it. This is gonna die any second. I should stop and let it charge for a minute, but I don't want to. The tires are kind of looking pretty cool. I don't know if it's just because the more I look at it, the more I can see the image now. But like the semi, I can totally make out like the rear tandem axles and stuff. Well, the rear wheels, and you can see can you see the Cyberquad there between the Roadster and the? Wow, look at all the gray on that Roadster. It's weird. Well, actually, a lot of that is the Cyberquad. Now that I think about it, the Cyberquad actually obscures basically like the passenger door. Layer 11. Man, I got some time to wait. Although, now that I think about it, the later gray layers. Say that 5 times fast. The later gray layers have less printing to do because they're just infill. So once it gets past the solid gray, and that's only infill for however many layers, but then it'll go back to solid, but not the entire gray layers, only where the white is. And that may or may not be 100% accurate the way I said that, but basically. Interesting how much red is left. So I must have fouled up something because the parking lot is red right there. So I evidently did something incorrectly. And what is that red? Huh. Yeah, so there's a lot of the stuff that should have probably been black. You know what it is? I wonder if I went a layer early with the red. But I would have thought that it would have covered up all of the black if I did that. I'm a little confused by what's going on there, but it's not gonna, I knew it wasn't going to be perfect anyway, so maybe it'll be an interesting effect. Surprised my phone hasn't died yet. I can't see the battery meter because I'm using the camera, but it warned me it was at 5%, and so I plugged it in. But I can't imagine it's going to charge faster than it's going to discharge. Now, interestingly, so it looks like the print bed is moving back and forth, or moving the camera back and forth, but I'm doing neither. Neither is happening. So that just must be like an image stabilization software that's trying to stabilize it somehow, and by trying to stabilize it, it's actually shaking it. That's funny, because the print bed is entirely stationary right now. Like if I put a glass of water on there, it'd barely be rippling, because it's very stationary. Like, all right, I'm trying to sort of show contrast of all right, it's moving slow now though. It's moving too slowly. No. All right, what is this, 12? Just changed to, looks like layer 12. Yeah, I think that's 12. Yeah, I'm amazed that this hasn't died yet because of the low battery. Any second, it probably will. And hopefully it records. Hopefully it saves the recording. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hit stop. All right, so here you go. Here's this week's haul for filaments. What did I say? 15 spools of filament that I ordered this week. Because I was like, like going for like skin tones and like hair colors and stuff. And so I got a lot of different shades of brown and stuff. And the green, I don't remember. The green was just because I didn't have any good green in PLA. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we are at 17 right now. 18, we're changing to white. I did not yet prepare my... Oh, yes, I did. Okay. So my white is cut at an angle. And as soon as this layer is done, I will pause it and we'll switch to white. And then the white should go really quickly. I'll probably just watch the rest. So it says hour and 50 in and 12 minutes left and 80%. Now I'm tempted to calculate the math on that. I really think based on that 30% when I was basically halfway done, that just must be like 80% of the layers, I'm saying. Because if there's, you know, from 2 hours in and there's 10 minutes left, that's a lot less than 20% to go. All right. Finish this layer. Let's get to swap the white in, and we'll see the final product. Yeah, I definitely must have messed up something. It's almost like I needed another color in there. Like, why so much red? Like, why is everything red? That should have been like gray or something. I'm confused by that. So this may not be my most successful print ever, but I think it'll look like a Cybertruck. Kind of, you know, I mean, it already does, although some of the colors are goofy. Question is, will the Roadster look like a Roadster, and will the Quad look like a Quad? And I'm saying generally no. I can recognize the hood of the Roadster and kind of the overall shape, I guess, but it definitely doesn't look. Well, I mean, the highlight's very silver, but it's reflecting the semi behind it, I'm sure, a lot of it, so that's probably why a lot of it is silver. So again, a demonstration of the technique, good. My execution, not good. The funny thing is, the first multicolor, well, not the first multicolor print, the first recent string of multicolor prints, first in that string, actually came out the best, which was my logo, just using the same method I used here, but evidently I was a lot better at figuring out what layer to put what color. Still not sure exactly how I went wrong here to get all this red where it should have been asphalt. I'm hungry, and I just realized I was going to leave right after this, and then I just realized I didn't eat yet. I already have leftovers, but a few extra minutes. But actually, I'll probably just bring it with me now that I think about it. Just a sandwich anyway. Well, I mean, it's just a sandwich. If you've seen my too many bacon and egg jalapeno cheeseburger videos, I have the other bacon and egg jalapeno cheeseburger that I griddled up for myself this morning. But I decided to spare you all another. Like I'm thinking maybe I'll only do like one of those a week because I'm gonna have like 600 videos of me doing griddling. Oh, I didn't realize it. I wasn't paying attention at the start of the next layer. So I'm now on 18. So I'm going to pause this. Switch to white. Pause, pause, pause. Release the clutch. Pull out the gray. Pull out the gray. Insert the white. Put this down. I'm purging it right now. I'm purging from gray to white, not super critical. It's funny how different PLAs feel so much more different than each other. Clutch re-engaged. Resume. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. All that red. But it's like it should have been a different color than the black. I'm not sure. I guess I probably just I should have done one more layer of black. I like words. Words are good. I'm kind of a nerd that way. Because I used to say, hindsight. And then I worked for this really smart guy. Learned a ton from him and his team. And he used the word retrospect. And I was like, that's way better word than hindsight. So I sound way smarter. I can fool people into thinking I'm smart if I use the word like retrospect instead of hindsight. And the funny thing is, people like everybody's quirky though. Like super genius guy, legit rocket scientist, entrepreneur, started his own little rocket science company, and he would say permanent magnet all the time. It was funny. He was an immigrant from Czechoslovakia. Back when it was a thing. I believe he was, I don't know, could have been Czech Republic. I'm not sure. But anyway, definitely speaks with an accent. All right, so we are on layer 18 of it's like 23 or 24, but it really should go quick. I mean, the timer says, the display says 7 minutes left. And that's not even including that there's extra layers of the height gauge. Okay, I just confirmed that I did remember to re-engage the clutch, so that's good. It's interesting sort of texture on the asphalt. It's kind of cool because it's asphalt anyway, so it's cool that it has that texture. You can definitely tell it's a Cybertruck. But why is it red? And why is the asphalt red? It's a mystery. I'll have to review the image after I'm done and see what would cause it to be like what that's obviously a different color. Oh, maybe that's a shadow. I bet that's a shadow from the Cybertruck. So probably the sun is up and to the left, and so there's probably the shadow on the. because obviously I can see the white line, I can see that white line, and I can see that white line because it's a parking lot, and it's obviously not. It's parked like sometimes some jerk ass might park like that in real life, but this is obviously a reveal event, so who cares? But yeah, so it looks to me like that's just shadow. Like yeah, look, evidently. Actually, so I just did that video of all these different colors of filament I have, and I do have some like dark. I don't know if I do have like a dark gray. Oh, I have to buy another spool of filament. I guess my 13, no, 15, my 15 spools of filament that I just got. I don't think I did get a dark gray. I guess I need a dark gray if I'm going to be doing these. So we're still on layer 18. Wow, this is taking forever. Oh, interesting. Like the background is I can see now the silhouette of the Cybertruck. Interesting effect with the red where it should be dark gray. Oops, my bad. Actually, though, I mean, there's only 3 layers of red anyway, so could be tricky. What I could do, in theory, too much processing, though. I like to do minimal processing, and like my videos, I rarely do much editing at all in my videos. Like, I can bring it into Blender and add, text and whatever, but it takes forever to render it. First of all, it takes forever to edit it, and then it takes forever to render it. So I like to do my videos just almost like live. And even if instead of doing it in Blender and then you have to re-render it and blah, 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 I find that if I use a program called Avidemux, it lets me just piece multiple videos together very quickly and easily, and then just save it as another video without re-rendering the whole thing. So it takes a few seconds to save rather than an hour. So that's the way I tend to do it, and it's it's sort of you quote unquote can't do things like add text or whatever, but you can. I mean, you can do multiple. You can do edits and then insert that edit. You know what I mean? So I can like cut a video out, take parts out, and move things around, and I can add, insert text if I wanted to or whatever. But I don't generally try to minimize my post-processing and my editing. It takes too much time. So what layer are we on? We're still on 18. Wow. Thankfully, I did put the clutch in again. I'm always so paranoid of that. I'm like, did I? Okay, good. All right, that's the end of 18. And it says 2 minutes left. So evidently there's not much left here. Just a few spots, evidently. A few highlights here and there. So weird with the red. With the extra red. So I'm not looking straight down on it, so I'm curious to see if I'm looking straight down. The Roadster looks a little better. Still very silver, very, very silvery. Oh, that's the Cyberquad. I keep forgetting that. That's the Cyberquad. That's the seat and what I would say the gas tank, but it's electric. So that's looking pretty cool. You got to say though, 4 colors, not super photorealistic, but that's fine. Didn't expect it to be. Definitely messed up with the red. I'm going to call this a successful print, though, unless I get struck by lightning within the next minute. In theory, the medical examiner could hit resume after rebooting it. Is that corner lifting up? No, it's my imagination. It's just because it's because it's black and then white. It's like black layers, then the white layer. Silver, gray layers, I should say. Is it gray or silver? Gray. I have another one that's silver and gold, and it's basically silver and gray. If you may not have noticed, they're basically the same. Ooh, my favorite, one of my favorite toys of all time. I had a light gray metallic 2009 BMW K1300S. Look at that bad boy up. Tell you what, right now. 175 horse stock. Thing was a beast. And it looked awesome. It was basically BMW's version of a Suzuki Hayabusa. 1300cc slant 4. Sport Tour. But shaft drive. Super nice to ride. And very little maintenance. We are at layer 20. Looks to me like we're on 20. Oh, now it says 5 minutes left. Didn't it just say 2 minutes left? I thought it just said 2 minutes left. I don't know. I didn't put the camera on it, so who knows. It's interesting that this prints PLA at 45 degrees on the bed when they generally, like I just noticed on one of these new spools here, that it recommends like 60 to 80 or something on the bed. What did it say? I don't know. I got a million boxes I gotta get rid of now. Or, you know, a million give or take 15 less than a million. Are we there yet? It's looking cool. Come on, finish up. 21, we're at 21. This height gauge really does work well. You have to pay attention, but it gives you the info. Actually, now with the white, the semi looks better now that it with the white highlights. It looks more 3D and kind of cool with the red tires. Are we done? Are we done? No. I'll know we're done when it just jumps back and forth between the two height gauges. Strange about the white line over here is gray, not white. I guess it was oh, because it's in the shadow. Haha, that makes sense. Yeah, I should have done a 5-color here. Oh, and I was starting to say that if I did a 5-color, or if I did more colors here, I would either have to make it taller, and then so it would take a lot longer, which would be annoying. I don't like standing out here for hours doing filament changes. 2 hours is plenty long enough. And what I could do, I started to say, I could do it in like multiple versions of it, and then like export the STL and like slice it, and then sort of make segments of layers, and then scale them in non-uniformly in the Z direction at different scale factors to increase my layers of the not enough layers colors. All right, we done? Go back up to the other one. Nice, we're done. Sweet. We are done. I'm going to pull this filament out so it's not in the way. I'm going to call that pretty cool. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to see anything in particular. Like any photo or something or that might look cool. Ooh, maybe I'll do my K1300S picture that I have from back when I used to commute. That was my commuter. It was the craziest commuter ever. I was doing like 600 miles a week on that bike commuting. I like it. Kind of just look like the Cybertruck, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Is that a Roadster? And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Is that semi? And then, oh, wait a minute. Is that the Cyberquad? Yes, it is. All right. That does it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share it with the internet. And give it a thumbs up. And consider subscribing. And maybe even hitting the notification bell. But I almost don't recommend that because I kind of put out a lot of stuff, and I don't want you to be annoyed by 6,000 notifications unless you're really tolerant of that type of stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please consider sharing it with your friends, and or otherwise helping people to find it by clicking the thumbs up and commenting, and consider subscribing. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks again.